Look at this glass of goodness to start yet another episode. If you're listening, you can't look at it, but you can close your eyes very tightly and picture a glass of deliciousness. And let me ASMR it for you. Oh, yeah, that tasted like victory. Pumpkin goodness, fall, spooky season. You know, all the stuff that just makes our hearts happy. Our little thumping gizzards jump for joy. Welcome back to another episode of Sippin With Sin. With the podcast where we talk about stuff and things and stuff that's probably not important, but things that are also important and stuff that matters to us, you know? That's the end of the day. Thank you for tuning in and listening to yet another episode. We are back. It's still spooky. It's spooky year-round for us. I don't know why I act like we're not spooky year-round, but it's spooky year-round. We don't have to have just 1 month to celebrate. But I digress. It is time to welcome our esteemed colleague for yet another episode, the one, the only, the dreadlock himself, Sir Christian.
What's up, everyone? It's good to be on another episode. I am tired as balls, but I'm ready to talk.
Yeah, so I really wish your middle name was Cole, so I could call you Sir Christian Cole.
Let's change it to Cole right now here on the podcast.
That way I can be like, you son of a bitch. You crawfishing son of a bitch.
I love it.
Okay. Oh, we'll get into all of that later. We'll jump into that. Also, if you're watching on YouTube right now, yes, I know there's a gigantic witch behind me. For the sake of this episode, we're going to call her Tituba, okay? She's back there. Hopefully she's not casting a hex on me or something. It's spooky season. Let her be. She wants to be on the podcast. If you're listening, there is I don't know how tall she is. She's pretty damn tall. Witch behind me. I've been decorating for Halloween, and she's in here for the stream stuff, so she hangs out. So yeah, hopefully she's not like cursing me or something. She's got a raven. You can't really see it in her hand. But getting off track. What we'd like to do to start every episode is to talk about what we've been listening to, reading, playing, or watching lately. And so we're going to do that to kick off the episode. If you're new here, that's what we do. If you're returning, you already knew that. So you're welcome. Christian, what have you been in anything this week or what's been going on?
So just some general house cleaning for me. It's been a super busy week.
I want you to know I immediately almost started singing Brian McKnight just then.
Oh, wow.
You said it's been, I was about to, what is it, 6 months, 8 days, 12 hours since you went away?
Oh, my God. Yeah, I forgot about that. That's funny.
I literally was about to start singing that.
So in real life for me, for all the listeners, I have been moving for the past week, essentially, and it's been super busy. I took a couple days off work so that I could get everything moved and into the new place. It's been a shit show. I'm just now getting to the point to where I have some semblance of life coming back to me. And, you know, I did get to do a couple of things in between all the BS that comes with moving. So I watched, what did I watch? Oh, man, I don't think I actually watched anything. I really haven't been able to like sit in front of the TV and do much. But I did, however, I did play something. I played a brand new game. At the time of this recording, it's only been out for like, I don't know, a weekend. And I played Gotham Knights. I played it on PS5. I know a lot of people are complaining, oh my God, it's capped out at 30 frames, blah, blah, blah. Like 30 FPS, I can't believe it. But here's the thing. I've played the game for about, I don't know, maybe an hour now. And actually, it's not been really an hour. It's been like 30 to 45 minutes, to be honest with you guys. But I haven't had an experience with any drop frames. I've done some story stuff. The story's dope. Like, I just got to say, I know that IGN gave the game a 5.
Yeah, it got like really bad reviews, I think.
Yeah, so I can't readily review the game because I haven't played enough of it. But from what I have played, I'd give the game a solid 7. Like, just to be real. There are things about the game that I don't like, but it doesn't have anything to do with the frame rate, just so you know. My biggest issues with the game right now are that you don't have couch co-op, which we knew to begin with. I just don't like that. This was the perfect title for that kind of gameplay. I don't like that you can only play with 2 people. There's 4 Gotham Knights, but you can only play 2 at a time, even if you're online. I don't like that. And I don't like the fact that this game seems like there's so much more for them to put in it. And I'm sure that we'll get it later for DLC, but for all of you gamers out there, you know that DLC usually means that they have shit ready to go, but they're holding it and they want you to buy it later. But in this case, I'm actually really excited for future DLC. They haven't announced anything yet, but I'm hoping that we get some really badass stuff. And I can't wait. Like, this is a perfect opportunity for them to drop DLC for a new character and that character be Damien. Like, I'm not even a huge Damien fan. Like, readily shit on Damien all the time because he's not my favorite Robin, but he would fit in so perfectly in this game. He would just be great. But anyway, I give the game a solid 7. I like the design. I like the gameplay. I love the story so far. Um, I really like a lot of the things about it. The only other thing that I can complain about right now is stuff that you've already heard, like Jason Todd, like his little mystical leap ability. Like, I'm just not gelling with that. I think it looks stupid and it's not my favorite. But Jason is one of the favorite characters to be played in this game, and it's because he's a shooter. You know, he's a big, huge brawler character, and he shoots the shit out of people, and it's fun. So absolutely, if you like guns, if you like shooting people, then that's your character 100%. With that being said, I am not used to the design of Jason being a giant football linebacker looking character. It's weird for me. I think one of the best Jason designs for a video game was Injustice 2. So, like, going from that to this is definitely different. But with that being said, I'm really liking the game. I would absolutely not give this a 5. I think that's ridiculous. I think it's been review bombed for sure, and the frame rates didn't help. But like I said, I haven't experienced any loss of frames. I haven't experienced anything of the sort. So give this game a shot, especially if you're a fan of Batman. It's definitely worth it.
Okay. Nice, nice, nice. So you picked it up. Did you pick it up day one?
I picked it up. Well, yeah, actually, it was day one because it. Well, no, because it came out Thursday. I ended up picking it up on. It came out Thursday night at like 9 o'clock locally for me, and I ended up getting it on Saturday. And it took forever for the game to download and install, so I didn't play it until Saturday night, briefly, and then I played it a bit. Excuse me, I played it a bit yesterday, and that was fun. I played last night before I went to bed, and I stayed up way too late going through it, and I really enjoyed what I played, and that's where I'm getting all the information I just gave you guys. So I really do enjoy it. And really quick, the only reason I was able to even play the game, to even get the game, is because when I moved, I realized that I had a stack of games for PS4 and a few games for PS5 that I'd like never played. So I ended up just taking them to GameStop and selling them all, and I had enough money to buy a whole new game. And I chose to get Gotham Knights, so I went ahead and paid it off completely, and I had a little bit of money left over, so I'll use that money to help me pay off God of War here soon. But yeah, that's the only reason why I was able to get this game. It was just a bunch of house cleaning, and like I said, I didn't even know that I had a stack of PS4 games. Like, I had a box full of PS4 games that I forgot all about, and one of them was actually Ghost of Tsushima, and I ended up keeping that in case I wanted to play it again.
Oh, that game's
But yeah, I had a
fantastic.
stack of it. Yeah, it's awesome, and I know that if you have the disc, you can upgrade it to the PS5 graphic version of the game. So totally gonna do that. But yeah, I just sold all of my old shit and some old controllers and stuff, and all of that equaled up to be the amount that I got. So I got a new game.
Nice. Heck yeah. Well, that sounds awesome. I have not checked it out. I also haven't watched any gameplay. I've been slacking. I've been really busy. So we do an annual Halloween party, and I decorate and like to make it very spooky. So I've been working on a lot of that, which entails just a shitload of work, to be honest. And as one person with a 11-month-old, it is quite a lot to handle. And streaming and working. So I've been working on that, but I have watched some stuff. I have continued. If you follow me on social media, you've seen what we've watched each night, but we've been watching a spooky movie each night. Just some of them I'll run through real quick. Hellraiser, the original. We watched it. We watched the remake of Fright Night. We have watched American Psycho, which the more I watch it, the more I love that movie even more. Like, it just continues to climb for me. I love that movie. We watched The Witch. I finally got to see The Witch. I can finally mark that off my list. I watched. I'm going through my list. I watched Beetlejuice. Which I also think, I don't know if it's speculation, but have they announced that officially Beetlejuice 2 is happening with Michael Keaton and Johnny Depp's even in it and Winona Ryder?
I heard that, but I didn't confirm it, so I don't want to say it's
Yeah, I
confirmed
saw,
yet.
I think it might have been on Facebook or something, so I don't trust it. I saw that and I was like, as long as Keaton is Beetlejuice, Winona Ryder's back as Lydia, I'm cool with it. And then I think Johnny Depp's, I don't know what his character would be, but I mean, I'm down for it though. All right, so Beetlejuice, I watched Taking of Deborah Logan. I've watched Misery, the original
Love that
Amityville
movie.
Horror, and the original Hills Have Eyes are some of the ones we've watched. Another movie we've watched that is in that mix would be Halloween Ends, the conclusion to David Gordon Green's trilogy. And
Let me stop you right there. If you had to rate this movie right now, 1 to 10, 1 being the worst, 10 being the best, what would you give it?
oh shit. Look,
Honest opinion.
I'll tell you, I need to rewatch it. I'll say that because I'm the type that like I'll watch something and sometimes I'll have to go back through and just like don't want to have that initial like, oh yeah, I hate everything. Because I will say this, there's stuff I do like in Ends. There are some things and some nods to it that I liked. There's stuff that I don't like just at all. Initially, top of my head, maybe a 5. Maybe.
Okay, that's fair.
I am going to rewatch it. I'm actually, the time of recording this, hopefully by next episode, I'll have went through all the Halloweens. I actually watched Halloween 1 and 2, Rob Zombies, today. And then I'm going through them in order from now on, which technically the order's all screwed up. Because if I do, after I watch the original, then I could either go to 2018 and watch that trilogy, or I can just go through the normal ones, which I'm probably just going to do. I'm just going to go 1, 2, Season Witch all the way through that way, and then watch the new ones. I don't know. It's all jacked up. But Halloween Ends. I know you haven't seen it, time recording this, Christian, so I'm going to avoid major spoilers. I know you know a little bit. Things I can say, if I rate the 3 movies, the new ones, 2018, Kills, and Ends, I would go 2018 by far way better than the other 2. Easily. So there's no contest there. And then I would probably say Ends and then Kills. But it's close to me.
Wow, you like Ends more than Kills.
Possibly. My reason is the mob and Tommy Doyle annoy the piss out of me in that movie. They are so damn annoying. It is. If they were gone and we didn't have all that, it would be okay. It's Carnage Candy. You said that before. It is what it is. It's Halloween Kills. It's Michael just doing Michael shit. Like, overboard. Ends. One big problem that is not a spoiler. If you've been anywhere on the internet, you've seen it. Halloween Ends is marketed as Laurie Strode, Michael Myers, final confrontation. Big issue with me. Michael is not in it that damn much. Not as much as I would have expected Michael to be present in the movie. And they also kind of did our boy wrong a little bit. I'm not going to say stuff, but they kind of did our boy wrong in ways. They introduced a new character. I also think Allison's kind of stupid in this.
It was kind of stupid in the last one, too.
But she's just, okay. If you survived Michael Myers for 2 movies and you see signs that something is not right, don't you think you would have like a paranoia, like a light bulb, something going off instead of just being like, oh, I'm okay, that's fine. Like, Jesus Christ. They focus a lot on Corey, which is the new character. No offense to the actor, whatever. I don't think it should have been a focal point of him for the final confrontation between them two. Just saying. They do throw a twist. I don't want to spoil anything. I mean, there is a twist, to how it all goes down. Some people say you can compare it to Thorn stuff. I don't know. That's my big thing. I wanted more Michael because it's 4 years. No. Yes. Mm-hmm. 4 years, I
No, it's
think.
4 years.
Because when the movie starts, it actually shows, I believe it's the year following, maybe? Yeah, I think it's Halloween following Kills, I believe. So maybe it's 5 total. No, maybe it's 3 after that one. Yeah. Because it goes to 2019, and that's where you get introduced to Corey. And then from there, it shows to 2022.
Wait, when did you get introduced to him?
You get introduced to him. So when the movie opens, obviously, like, Lori's kind of introducing the movie. She's a narrator kind of part, talking about stuff, like pretty much what's happened since Kills. And then you get introduced to him, and it says Halloween 2019. Because it's 2018 when Halloween and Halloween Kills happens, because it's the same... No, yeah, it's the same night, right? Yeah. Correct?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Halloween 2018 and Kills are the same night.
Yeah. So 2019, 1 year later, is when you get introduced to Corey, who I think is either like... He may be close to Allison. He's close to Allison age. I feel like he's getting ready to go to college at that point or something. Or maybe he's applying to colleges or something. So he's around that age group. And that's where you get introduced to him. There was cool moments. I'm having to be very selective because I don't want to screw this up and like ruin it for Christian because I know I would be pissed. There's cool moments. One moment being, and unless I'm mistaken, I'm pretty sure Michael gets stabbed in the neck, or somebody gets stabbed in the neck with a needle, like a knitting needle, which is a kind of a, or no, tries to get stabbed in the neck, not stabbed in the neck. They attempt to stab him in the neck with a knitting needle, which is an ode to the first one. That's where Michael gets like a hole in his neck from Lori. I feel like it focuses a lot on what society and the community would be doing following Kills. Because they went a lot with like mob mentality. The town's going to fight back against this boogeyman. And now it's like in the wake of that, how are people dealing with it? I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know. I mean, I'm going to rewatch it. I'm sure we'll talk about it again this next episode. Maybe Christian will have seen it by then. I'll have gone through all of them, hopefully by this next episode, and I wanted to rank them from best to worst. And that includes the Rob Zombie ones, the David Gordon Green trilogy ones, even Season of Witch, which is not really fair because it's technically not a Michael movie. It is Halloween. I think that would be if it wasn't Halloween, I would like that. Like, it would be better suited, if that makes sense. If it didn't have the Halloween title. Because it's not a bad movie. It's just, it's not Michael. It's the only one. Trying to think if there's anything else I can say on ends. There was several things that I was like, you gotta be shitting me. Christian, I'm sure you'll... And, okay, to put you in perspective how I watched this, so we went to our... it was the day before Mrs. Sin's birthday. And we went to our friend's house, and they actually put a projector out in their yard, and we sat around a fire and watched Halloween Ends, right? Pretty cool. And my buddy is a huge Halloween fan as well. And me and him sat there, and during the movie several times, we were just like, really? Like, are you being for real? Like, are you shitting me? That was a lot. And then even then, we were like, the fuck? Like, I don't know. 2018 was good. I feel like these other two have been meh. So I'm going to rewatch it though. And then definitely take extensive notes. And hopefully you'll see it because I'm really biting my tongue on a lot of stuff that I want to say and go in on. And kind of sucks dancing around it.
That's fair. That's fair.
I do. One thing that is cool, they did bring back, and they did this in Kills, where they would jump back to the original night from 78. You know what I'm talking about? Like the flashbacks?
Yeah.
Well, they did that, but it was actual scenes from 78. Like they would show different things. Kind of like, I don't know if it's like Lori flashbacks in her head or what, or just different things like that. I like that. That was kind of cool because I do like, seeing that stuff. But yeah. So Halloween, watch that. It's on Peacock. If you have Peacock, go watch it for yourself and check it out. It is in theaters. I don't know what it did in the box office. I have no clue. I didn't look up any numbers. Do you know? Did it do bad?
I haven't looked it up, man. I've been trying real hard to stay away from a lot of the spoilers just because I do intend to see it. But I mean, the longer I go without seeing it, the more I just want to look at the damn the spoilers and not even worry about it.
Well, now David Gordon Green is moving on to The Exorcist, from what I understand. So we'll see how that goes.
Mm.
Yeah.
I gotta say, I'm not excited for that. But
After this trilogy, like if we would just went off of 2018, I'd be like, damn, okay, I'm excited for him to do The Exorcist. But it's like 2018 was like the peak, which I feel like usually in trilogies it's the second movie. I could be wrong. I like Dark Knight in the Nolan Batman is the best.
yeah, mhm.
Like the first one sets it
The
up,
Terminator.
second one's peaks, and then the third one usually is like it's solid. This though, I feel like we peaked on the first one, and then it was just kind of like eh.
That's fair. I get you on that.
I don't know. I know you like 2018 a lot, also.
I did. I really enjoyed 2018. I thought it was a really good return to form. But the thing is, at the end of the day, 2018 is a lot like what Star Wars Episode 7 was, which was just like fan service and showing you these legacy characters again and then giving you a little bit of a new story. And
Fan
it
service me
left you
then.
really hopeful. It left you really hopeful. The one thing that Halloween 2018 didn't do that Star Wars Episode 7 did was they marketed the movie completely wrong. Like when they marketed Star Wars, it was like, hey, here's this new character. His name's Finn. He's defecting from stormtroopers. He's going to be the next Jedi you all got to watch out for. He's going to join the light side. It's going to be awesome. And his companion, Rey, who's also a fucking badass. Like, that's kind of how they, presented the film. And then when you get it, it's like, actually, Finn is just kind of a stormtrooper who doesn't want to be evil, so he just hangs out with Rey, and that's all he does. He holds the lightsaber though, so we'll give you that. But then it's just like, oh, by the way, Rey knows how to do everything without training. Okay, cool. So like they didn't do that. They did show us like a epic kind of fight scene between Laurie and Michael in the original Halloween 2018 trailers that we didn't get because of reshoots. But I mean, they've been showing and like stills and stuff of how that could have gone, and I think the script for that's out and stuff, so you can look at it now. But I mean, I'm not excited for Halloween Ends. I just want to watch it so that I can say that I finished the trilogy at this point.
Yeah.
But we'll see, man. We'll
Didn't
see.
you say you knew that? So I mean, you knew that. Well, I'm not gonna say it. Never mind. I'll just be quiet. I'm not gonna get into it because if you haven't watched it yet, I don't want to ruin it. So you get till next episode. Next episode, potentially, if Christian's seen it, we're going in.
Absolutely.
When he sees it, we're going in. So you have until then to watch it. So go to Peacock. It's like $5 a month or something. I don't know. Watch the movie and eat your popcorn, and you may be disappointed. You may love it. There's like, I feel like there's no in the middle with that movie. You either hate it or you love it. I feel like there's no gray area from what I've seen. Have you seen any gray area, Christian?
In the new 2018 was great.
No, I'm
I
talking about
loved
just
it.
ends.
Oh no, I haven't heard any gray area. I've heard people who aren't fans of Halloween. Sure, there's gray area there, but if you're a fan, you either love it or hate it.
Yeah. So that's what I've been into. I did just come across some news, which is probably not super relevant news or like news breaking, but Tobin Bell is returning as John Kramer in the next Saw film. It will begin filming later this month and release October 27th of 2023. I don't know. Hopefully that's good because I don't know if you watched. Can you count Spiral as a Saw movie?
I mean, yeah, sure.
That movie's Boo Boo
guess.
Shoes.
Yeah, that's not great.
I can't sugarcoat that movie at all. That was awful. That was a horrible movie. Like I hated. I don't think there was anything I liked in it. Actually, no. I think there was one line that was pretty funny, and I can't even remember it. Everything else, I hated the voice. I hated all the stuff. I was like, this is awful. That was a one and done. I would never watch it again. Um, but yeah, so Halloween's over for now until they reboot it, however many years. I
They'll
had the
definitely
feeling
reboot.
though watching Ends. I don't know how you felt about this, but I personally really like H2O. And I just kind of had the feeling like, why couldn't we have wrapped something up right then with like Lori and Michael? Which H2O, and now this is now pretty much what, 40 years or whatever, just about, when the other one come out. And then
Yeah,
what if she's
we'll
still
definitely get
still
everyone
going?
back
Are we gonna
with.
get like a 60-year? They're back again.
Now, I think Jamie Lee Curtis is actually done, and the reason why I say that is because there's been a lot of stuff coming out about Jamie that we already knew as fans, but we always forgive because we want more Halloween. But like, apparently, she was a super big dick to what's her name? The person that played Jamie in the Thorn
Danielle Harris.
trilogy. Yeah, apparently she was a really, really, really big asshole to her, and that's not cool. Because like the thing is, when Danielle Harris was in the films, she was a child, right? That was like her like breakout kind of role essentially to keep going and doing things. But like, I think that a person like Jamie, a legacy character, actress that we all know and most of us love, like just be chill, dude. Like the thing, I think about this often, and I remember Halloween 2, like the original Halloween 2 came out and Jamie couldn't find work for the longest time. So like I think she got John Carpenter gave her a role in The Fog, like as one of the main characters. I remember because she couldn't get any work, and then she couldn't get stuff doing anything that wasn't like horror. And then she finally started to break out. She had True Lies and like Blue Steel and shit like that. So she started really like finding her way. And then it seemed like she became really really humble, right? And then now you hear these stories. So I'm just I guess like just never meet your heroes is kind of what I'm getting at. But with that being said, I think that even if they threw like 4 or 5 dump trucks full of money at Jamie, she'd be done with it just because what else could she bring to this role? You know what I'm saying? Like I don't think she has anything left.
Yeah.
There's just nothing left for that character in film form. I think that if you were doing comics and stuff or some kind of animated series, sure. But when it comes to just film, she's done.
I think so. Another thing that's weird on Ends is Jamie is like Jamie, Lori, whatever. She is so paranoid and prepping for Michael in the first two. Like she is like on a damn mission to take him out. Like it will happen. And this one, he's not gone. Like he just disappeared. He killed your daughter, and we're just gonna move on. We're okay with it. Things are fine. We're moving on with life. We're living a happy life. And I was like, what happened to what we just had? Where's the badass? It's like, evil dies. I'm taking Michael out. But this one, she's like, I'm gonna bake some damn pies, and I'm just gonna have a little house, and it's not gonna be all booby trapped and shit. And I'm just gonna decorate for Halloween and live a normal life with my granddaughter. Like, I don't know. It was kind of weird, like how they did that, because they'd set her up for the first two, like she's damned and determined it's gonna happen, and then this one she's kind of like, like she's not even sweating Michael that she didn't kill. You know, like it's kind of weird. Like it just doesn't make sense. Like what's the psychology on that? Is she just like, he's gone now. He's just gonna disappear. Like his mission's over. I don't know.
That's fair.
It's weird. It's weird. I don't know. And I'm sure we'll discuss it more. But we'll move on to our next topic, which I believe is House of the Dragon episode 9. Christian?
I think so. Are you ready?
I'll do what I do, and that will be I'll briefly talk about thoughts. So, pretty much everybody gets locked down. It's some sneaky shit. They're really conspiring, and you find out pretty much what the hell's it called? What's the table called? Council. Isn't there a name for it, or is it just council?
Well, now there's a new name for it, which is also the title of the episode, which is the Green Council.
Green Council. Okay, well, the council is what I'm getting at. They've pretty much already been conspiring that they're gonna put Aegon on the throne. So it goes through all that shit. Aegon's a little bitch, and he's run off, and he's like, want to do stuff, and he's this little asshole, and he has little bastards everywhere, and he sucks, and Aegon just sucks in general. Best part of the episode, Rhaenys finally gets her moment, and it's badass. I loved it, and a lot of future shit could have been avoided if she would have just pulled the trigger, pretty much. She would have just done what had to be done. It'd have been avoided. She busted up through that thing like a boss. And I can't think of her freaking name. Aegon's wife kind of called it. She said, at one point, I believe she said something about the beast beneath the boards or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
And then Rhaenys bust through. So none of what I'm saying is making sense because you haven't heard Christian's rundown, but those are like my takeaways in this. You don't get Rhaenyra in episode 9. You don't get Daemon. It is solely King's Landing, a suspenseful like race against time to get shit done before news gets out, before anybody gets out that Viserys is dead. And so they're pretty much like conspiring and getting everything done and getting Aegon, the crown on Aegon. I wanted to ask you, so Aegon, I just don't see how he'll be a good ruler at all. He sucks in general. There's no way around it. Like, the dude's just awful. He's immature. He's just an idiot. Aemon. If Aemon was a king, there was a Targaryen king, and I can't think of his name. It's something the Cruel. Do you know who I'm talking about?
Yeah.
I can't think of his freaking name. I feel like it starts with an M. Anyways,
What about him?
I feel like that would be Aemon. I feel like Aemon would be a damn ruthless, hateful king, kind of. Like, he would just be murdering the shit out of people. I could be wrong. I don't know. Do you
Probably
get that
not.
vibe from Aemon at all?
I think that if Aemon was the king, he would be a lot like Joffrey was, but
Yeah.
he would be a tame Joffrey is what he would be, because Aemon is very headstrong and very impulsive, and he is super, super mean for
He's
sure.
a little sadistic, too.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
All right. Well, do your thing. Go ahead and do your breakdown. We'll let you get after it. And, yeah, those are my initial thoughts. I will say, so far, the show has crushed it. I know there was thoughts on if it would just be a cash grab, like, hey, it's Game of Thrones, yay, watch it. This show has been fantastic, I think. I've actually loved this show. I've been super happy with it. I love the pacing, all the stuff. It's been wonderful, in my opinion. But we're going to let Christian do his in-depth analysis of episode 9.
I got quite a few notes on this, but I'm going to once again do my best to kind of run through this because, as always, it seems life is getting in the way, and I got to do a few more things outside of the podcast. So let's go ahead and jump into it. In the opening, we see that the king's symbol is full of blood, which is letting us know that he is, in fact, dead. And then you see Alicent's bloodline show 4 children, which means that Daeron is in fact in the show, which was later confirmed by the showrunners that he's going to be in the show. So we also find out like what he's doing in the show as well from them, which I'll get into here in a bit. He's in Old Town, just to say that much. But anyway, the show shows a sapphire for Aemon's eye, a spider for Helena, and a woman bound for Aegon. And you might be asking, why would they have a woman bound to represent Aegon, which we will unfortunately learn because he's a piece of shit. Anyway, moving forward with that.
Glad you think
also
highly of
see-
Aegon.
Oh man, dude, I fucking hate Aegon. Aegon is the only child Alicent has that like that has no reason to be for me. Like he's there. His name is Aegon. Literally because of the prophecy. I understand that, but like he's such a shit character. He's not even.
How
fun
can
to
she
watch,
not
like, at all.
see, like, now that she knows about the prophecy, he's the promised one, can you not look at him and be like, I don't know what the hell he's promised to do because he ain't doing shit. This dude can't even, like,
Exactly.
do basic things correctly.
He's trash. He's trash. So then we get the servant boy because we see that in King's Landing everything is quiet. It's the middle of the night. You see a lot of the servants getting ready for the following morning, like they're already up and doing shit. But then you see the servant boy. He goes to tell Talia Alicent's handmaiden or whatever. He tells her that the king is dead. So then we in turn see that he's also telling this information. She's telling this information to the White Worm, and that shit is insane. So Talia tells Alicent. Alicent tells Talia to tell no one and not to leave the room. Then you see that Talia, if you remember, Talia lights a candle in the window, and that's a sign to Massaria, who is the White Worm, to let her know that the king is dead. So that way, Talia doesn't actually have to go and say anything. She doesn't have to meet with her. It's just a code that they have already planned out. So I thought that was a really good attention to detail there. Then you see Alicent picks her nails again. She's been doing that throughout the season when she was a child up until now. When she gets super nervous about things, she tells her dad Otto that the king is gone, and that he wished for Aegon the second to be king, which is their firstborn son. And if you remember, he never actually said that. He never said those words. That's what Alicent interpreted that he said. So that's what she told everybody. So as you can see, we're already off to a bad start. Then you see the Green Council, which is the name of the episode. You got the Master of Laws, which is Jasper Wilde. You got Grand Maester, what's his name? Orwile, I think is his name. Then you have the Master of Coin, who is Layman Beesbury. You got the Master of Ships, which is Tyland Lannister. Then you got the Hand of the King, which is Otto, fucking asshole. And then you got the King's Guard there with Kristen Cole, and then Lloyd, I can't talk today, Lord Commander of the King's Guard, who is Harold Westerling. I will say really quick though, in the books, I'm pretty sure Harold Westerling was already gone in this point. I think he was either dead or retired or whatever. I don't remember, but he wasn't in the book at this point. So that's an addition that they added. Anyway, Otto tells them that the king is dead. All members except for Alicent and Beesbury, begin planning to put Aegon on the throne, but they're resuming planning, not starting the planning. So I thought that was crazy. Um, Lannister says that all the gold will be divided for safety, which is news to Lord Beesbury, and he calls it treason, and says that the king to be promised isn't supposed to be Aegon. It's pretty much just saying like, "Yo, hold up, this is bullshit. I know nothing about this. This is crazy. Y'all are all committing treason. This is trash. I know the king. I've known him longer than all of you guys. We were friends. Like he would never say that on his deathbed. Like smash the table."
Uh,
In the book, it was different.
we had technical difficulties. You
In
kind
the
of
book,
broke
that
up
was
for a minute.
different. Oh, dang. Sorry about that. I am using a different setup thanks to the move again. So I'll go ahead and repeat that last part just so that we have it. But essentially, after Beesbury was telling everybody that it was treason and bullshit, Sir Kristen Cole comes up, tells him to be quiet, and bashes his head on the table, and he's instantly dead after that. And I was just saying that in the book, it's a little different. In the book, he was taken to the dungeon, and I believe when he was in the dungeon, he just died because Sir Kristen Cole stabbed him in the throat so that he couldn't talk anymore. No, 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 no. He stabbed him in the throat and then threw him out a window in the book. That's what happened. That's what happened. Yeah, it was insane. But they changed that, which I mean, it was way more impactful this way. Seeing it happen in the way that we saw it here made a lot of sense. It was quick and it was really sudden, and that's the kind of shit that we're used to seeing in Game of Thrones in general. So I thought that shit was cool. Then you see that Westerling demands that Sir Kristen Cole remove his cloak and his sword because he's disobeyed the only rules that they have, right? But we know as the watchers that Sir Kristen Cole hasn't been following the rules at all since he was watching Rhaenyra. So he's not been doing anything he's supposed to have been doing. Anyway, to move on from that, we see that Helena and her two children. Oh, you know what? Before that, I gotta go back. So after he demanded his sword and cloak, you see that Allison wants to offer Rhaenyra Dragonstone if she bends the knee to the new king, and then Otto wants to kill all the Targaryens. He just wants them all dead. I forgot to mention that because it is very different. Both of them want different things. They want the same thing, but they want to get there differently. And that's a major part of this episode because essentially, this episode, we're following the plight of these two characters the entire way. So you can see that Alicent wants to do the same things. She just wants to do it peacefully, as where Otto is just like, fuck them, kill them all, so we don't have to worry about it later and we don't have to worry about war. It's just done. So I wanted to make sure that you understood that that was something that we saw in this episode for sure. Also in the book, I did write down that in the book, Westerling was long dead, and Sir Kristen Cole had replaced him long before the king died. So yeah, okay, I was remembering that correctly. So there we go on that. I knew something was weird about that. Then we see Helena and her two children. Um, her two children with Aegon, I mean, because they do have kids. Then Alicent tells her the news and demands to know where Aegon is. And then that's when we get the line, "There's a beast beneath the boards." Aemon also is present at this point. He shows up because if you notice, Aemon came in to check on Helena real fast. Like we already saw when he was a kid, he said that he would happily perform his duty and marry his sister if he had to. So like I don't know if they're trying to do like some kind of sister wiving thing with that or show us that he really really cares about Helena, but he did show up in her room real quick when Allison came in there to tell them the news of their father being dead. So I just thought that that was an interesting attention to detail as well. Otto tells Eric Cargill to go get Aegon and to go with his brother to tell no one, not to wear their cloaks and all that, so nobody knows what they're doing. So he's being really shady. And then you see that Alicent asks Sir Kristen Cole and Aemon to find Aegon and bring him directly to her. There's this weird sexual tension between Alicent and Sir Kristen Cole. Like it's outside of the earshot of Aemon, if you notice. Like she makes sure that he can't hear her when she's saying it. But she was like, everything you feel for me as your queen, like she's asking him to do this thing for her. So I just thought that that was fucking odd for her to say it that way. So be on the lookout for that kind of shit later on. Just know, just know to look out for that come season 2, later on in season 1. Like see how that relationship unfolds if it does. I'm just speculating at this moment. And then you also see that Rhaenys is locked in her room. Notice that those loyal to Alicent are locked away, and that's fucking crazy. I think. Then you see Lord Caswell. He tries to flee to warn Rhaenyra. He's caught, and then they hang him later. And then he calls. I don't know if you caught this, but he calls Lord Loras the Lord Confessor, which is his title in the books. So I thought that was really cool to see.
You're talking about Beetlebug, right?
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
Beetlebug. Oh, just wait. I got something for you in a little bit when you get to a little further part.
Okay. I can't wait to hear that.
Oh, yeah.
But so that's what we have on that. And then moving forward a little bit further, you see that Aemon knows all of his brother's usual haunts, like his old haunts. And he took him when he was 13 to get it wet, as he said in the episode. They interview the woman that Aemon actually lost his virginity to as well. I know it was like a weird little moment that you get, but she
That
was
was
like, "How
awkward as
you've grown and
shit.
all that." It was very fucking awkward, but that was totally the woman that he lost it to when he went there when he was 13. So crazy, crazy,
She's like,
crazy.
you grew up nicely. What the fuck?
I thought, ugh. Then you see that there's a bunch of 10-year-olds and a kids underground UFC kind of tournament
Fight
going on,
Club.
which fucking sucks. What'd you say?
Fight Club.
Yeah, there's like a little kids fight club, dude. It's so jacked up. Then you see Lord Merryweather and others side with Rhaenyra, and they get killed by Otto because they're loyal to Rhaenyra and they don't want to
In the
go
Fight
back
Club,
on
you
that.
also see one of Aegon's bastards because it has
Yeah,
white hair, just like a Targaryen. And they said, damn, what are their names? It's like Eric and Arik or something.
yeah, Aragon. I'm gonna get to that actually.
Okay.
It's because in the episode they were skipping back and forth. So when I was writing my notes, I had to do it the same way I saw it in the episode. So I'll come
Gotcha.
back to that part. But let's see. We see the twins, and they go to the kids' fight club as well. And one of Aegon's bastards is in the corner, which is what you were just talking about. And then you see that the twins are told to bring Otto to the White Worm, but before they are told to bring him there, they start talking to each other, and one of the twins, they're Eric and Arik, and I can't remember which one is which at the moment. I apologize, but one of them is kind of like, "Man, this is shitty. I don't like this. This is the king that you're following. This isn't cool." And then the other twin is like drinking the Kool-Aid. He's like, "It doesn't matter what he does. I've always known what he's doing. Like, it's fine. Don't worry about it. We swore an oath. Blah blah blah." And it's just really really strange to see that kind of thing. Those two twins, to see them on opposite sides of each other was really nice, and we're going to see that unfold in this episode, which is cool. But they definitely tell us that Aegon has more than one bastard running around because
So
he's
one of them
always
acknowledges
out
it. They're like, "Is that Aegon's?" It's like they make
one of
mention that, yeah,
many.
that's pretty much one of Aegon's kids. Like, it's my job to follow him around, know what he does. Like, yeah, it's one of his bastards out of here.
That's so jacked up, especially with what we saw in the last episode
Yeah.
when we discussed that. Let's see. So, what else happens in this? Let me get back to my notes here. Otto confronts Loris on the many hours that he spends with Allison, and I thought that was cool that he even brought that up. And then Loris pretty much tells him like these hours can benefit you too, and he uses that to his advantage. So Loris is kind of playing the field. You know, he's playing both sides essentially with both of these people.
I hope
He's
his death is
more
satisfying.
into
I just want to say that.
what'd you say?
I hope Loris's death, Beetlebug's death, is satisfying.
I do too. We'll see, because a lot of stuff is different from the book than the show, so I can't really gauge how this is going to happen in either one. But you know, we'll get to it as the show unfolds. We got one episode left, so moving forward, you see that the Silent Sisters prepare the king's body, and Alicent places his crown on top of him, and then she goes to see Rhaenys. Sir Kristen Cole and Aemon watch Otto meet with Massaria. Like they don't say anything; they're following him in secret. And then he offers Aegon. She offers Aegon as a favor to get rid of the kids' fight club that we saw, and I thought that that was really cool that she wanted that to happen, but she obviously wants that to happen for a reason. She pretty much tells Otto like, remember who put him on the throne. Don't forget me. Do this favor for me, you know, and I'll keep backing you. And Otto gives his word, and we'll see how much his word is worth later on in the episode. Then you see that Aegon is hiding in the one spot that nobody would ever think to look for him. He's hiding in the Sept. And for those of you who don't know, the Sept is essentially like hiding in the Catholic Church. That's essentially what it's like.
It's like
So
under
he's
a damn
hiding in
table
the
or something.
yeah, he's hiding. He's hiding like inside of this weird thing in the Sept. It's really funny. Then we see the battle between one of the twins and Sir Kristen Cole. Then you have Aemon and Aegon kind of fighting each other, but it's not really a fight because Aegon's trash. Then you see Eric defects, the one with an E, Eric, not Arik. But Eric defects. He kind of leaves his brother to go to Team Black, and he just kind of disappears while the fight's going on. And we never hear about that again in the episode. We see him later, but we don't hear that he's gone. But Sir Kristen Cole does ask him where his brother is and why he didn't come to help. So I thought that that was nice that he at least brought it up there. Then you see that Allison has Aegon and she has control of everything, and she says that to Otto when she confronts him. Um, then you see that what does she say? She went to Sir Kristen Cole, and no. She told her dad Otto that she wanted Sir Kristen Cole to be Lord Commander. Like that was something that she wanted to happen for sure. Um, and then you see later on that when Eric defected, he's going to help Rhaenys, which I don't think is in the book. I'm pretty sure they added that for the show for the drama. But then we get one of the craziest parts of the episode, in my opinion. Lars comes to give Allison some info, but that info comes with a cost. And I know you know what I'm talking about. But as payment for him giving her information about all this shady shit, we find out that the guy who has a gimp foot has a foot fetish.
So
So when they're talking, she starts taking off her stockings, right, and showing her feet. And I was like, is he about to like? Is she paying him with like foot pics? Is
Dude,
she like the
that's what
first
I
human
thought at
being?
first too. She started taking off her stockings. I was like, why are they showing? Like, why is she doing this in the middle of the conversation? And then as she was like sticking her feet out, like the missus was kind of looking at me like, what the hell's going on? I was like, he's got a damn foot fetish. This dude is like getting excited as hell about some feet right now.
Yeah, and he starts withholding information until she shows her feet more, and she's got her feet kind of propped up on this stool or whatever, and he just full on starts beating it right there
She turns her head and he goes
to
to
her
town.
feet. And I was like, what the hell is going on? Like I knew what was going on, but I gotta say I wasn't prepared for that. Like of
So
all the things, I was not
that
prepared.
means we have new titles in the show now. You know this, right? What are you laughing for? We got new titles, official titles. We have a new king. We have to have new titles for our people in the court. We got
That's true.
Beetlebug doing Beetlebug shit. And then we have Otto, who I guess is still going to be the hand of the king. And then his mom,
Mhm.
Allison's the foot of the king.
Oh my god,
Do-do.
bruh,
Boo.
that's hilarious. We also see that with the information that he gave Allison, he let her know essentially that her handmaiden is a traitor. She's been talking to the White Worm. We learn who the White Worm is in this. Like he gives all that information to Allison, and then you see that he had Masaria's house burned, which was crazy. I don't remember if that was in the book or not. Like to be honest, I don't want to lie to you, but you already know that she's going to think that Otto had her house burned down, and she's not going to forget that. So that's going to come back later on. I don't know if it's going to come back in the last episode or not, but it's definitely going to happen, and I can't fucking wait to see how she retaliates against them for that. Then you see Aegon with Alicent on their way to accept the crown, and uh, he says that his father had 20 years to make the decision and he never asked him to succeed him, so he never would. Then Allison tells him that Otto is going to ask him to kill Rhaenyra, but to regret it. I'm sorry, but to reject it. She doesn't want Rhaenyra dead. She doesn't want to start a war. But you notice he never answers her question. He never says that he won't have her killed. Never says that. So I thought that that was very interesting that they never let us do that. And then instead of answering her question, he asks her another question. And his question is if she loves him or not. And instead of her answering that question, she just calls him an imbecile. So if you notice, their relationship is just kind of constantly questioning each other. And they have like love for each other because they are mother and son, but they don't respect or like each other pretty much at all. So I really like seeing that. But we will see here in a minute like what she feels for Aegon. But before we get to that, Otto tells the people that the king is dead and that his final wish was for Aegon to succeed him as king. Then we see the whole ceremony where they crown Aegon as the king. He is crowned by Sir Kristen Cole, and he now holds the sword Blackfire. He also has the old crown
Conqueror's crown.
of Aegon the First, I believe. What's
Yeah.
that?
It's the Conqueror's crown, right?
Yeah, Aegon the First was the Conqueror, so he has the Conqueror's crown, and he now has Blackfire as well. So I thought that that was interesting, but I believe that's in the book as well. Then, while the ceremony is going down, you see that he's kind of drinking the Kool Aid, and Aegon's like, "Yeah, the people love me," and he's like feeling it, and he's like waving his hand and his sword in the air and all this shit. And you also see Aemon's there, and he's looking kind of crazy because we heard earlier in the episode that Aemon thinks that he would be a much better king because he actually studies the histories and he actually gives a shit, and he's a fighter and he wants the crown, but he knows that he's not the first son. So Sir Kristen Cole kind of tells him, like, temper your expectations. I know what it's like to want things you can't have. So, just chill. So you see him looking very menacingly at his brother once he's crowned. But while all of that's happening, Rhaenys, Rhaenys bursts through the fucking ground like a G. She kills a whole lot of people, by the way. And with that, she stares down the new king, the usurper king, essentially, is what we should be calling him, and the entire family of all of them. And instead of burning them with her dragon, she just kind of takes off. But before she takes off, I
She
don't know
could
if
have
you
took it
peeped
all
this or
out
not.
right then. She could have had them all, like the High Towers, Aegon, Aemon, like they would have been done.
Exactly, because she could have burned everyone right there. All she had to do was say Dracarys. But if you notice, when she burst through the ground and her dragon roared at all of them, Allison immediately got in front of Aegon to protect him. So I thought that that was a nice touch. She's not a total piece of shit mom. She does want to protect her children at all costs. And that was the first thing she did. She didn't care about getting burned. She didn't care about dying. She only cared about protecting Aemon. So I thought that was cool to see. Um, and that was essentially the end of the episode. Like we see her kind of flying off on her dragon to go warn Rhaenyra, and that's it. And it's not in the book. Like that scene is not in the book, but the showrunners kind of talk about how she didn't kill all of them because when Alicent jumps in front of Aegon, that made Rhaenys think about what it was to be a mother because she's lost both of her children. So she, in turn, she couldn't kill someone's son and make them, you know.
Feel what
Oh,
she's felt.
she didn't want to kill another mother. Essentially, is what they were getting at, and she has morals and everything. And I thought that was nice for her. I didn't like it though. Like obviously, if she kills them all right there, we wouldn't have a show. But whatever. It
I didn't
wasn't up
think it
for
was a
me. It
good
wasn't
moment
up for
for her
me.
because she kind of really hasn't had that badass moment. But her being on the armor on the dragon was pretty sweet.
Yeah. But that's the wrap up essentially for the episode. And, I got to say, this was one of the best episodes of the entire season. I would give this episode a solid 9 out of 10. The only reason it wasn't a solid 10 is because we didn't get a lot of like action in the episode. But the action that we did give was 100% worth it. And I couldn't ask for more. It was
It's
amazing.
a show where like even if you don't get a lot of like action and like swordplay and fighting and stuff, like there's still a lot that goes on that makes it exciting and suspenseful.
I agree, man. I agree.
But yeah, one episode away. We'll talk about it next episode, the finale. I'm sure it will be super awesome. But I believe that's all of our topics for the day, for this episode. We do have our last call question, so it's time that we
Pass the whiskey.
and get down to our last call question for this week.
Whiskey?
All right, now that you got your whiskeys ready, we're going to On the Inside has us a question for Spooky Month. All right, so since we're getting spooky, I need you all to go through all the major horror franchises and give me your least favorite movie in each separate franchise and tell us briefly why it's the worst. Well, I mean, if you want to go through horror franchises, the major ones, I mean, that would be what
Let's
Friday.
go through the top 5. So let's go through
Friday
Halloween.
13th, Halloween, Nightmare on Elm Street, Scream, and Child's Play.
Child's Play.
Would that be?
Yeah.
That'd be considered, right?
Yeah.
Okay. And if we're leaving off one, definitely let us know, and we'll do that one next. So we'll go through these 5. I'll start. What movie do you want to start with?
Let's start with Halloween.
Halloween 2 by Rob Zombie. And reason
I have to
why
agree.
he makes noise, which I do not like, and he eats dogs, and it's boo-boo shoes. There's just nothing I like about that movie.
I agree. He didn't even wear his mask for like almost the entirety of the movie.
Yeah.
And the best
I
scene
didn't like the
of
direction with
film-
her and like the white horse and all that bullshit. That was awful.
I agree, man. Like I remember watching it, and I want to say the best scene of the movie wasn't even a real scene. It was a dream sequence, which was at the beginning. So yeah, that movie was ass. I didn't like Lori at all. She was just a fucking bitch for no reason.
Loomis was a dick
The white
too.
horse stuff. Huh? Loomis was a giant asshole, which was annoying. I didn't like him at all. Like it was just really bad. I didn't like any of the main characters. I was just ready for the movie to be over.
One of the only things I liked in it is the fact that they were heavily scarred and showed physical like damage from the previous movie, like the actual physical scars, not just the emotional scars. I did kind of like that because a lot of movies I feel like you don't see the scarring from where they have incidents. Rob Zombie's like over the top with theirs, but that was one of the few things I liked in that movie. There's not many.
I mean,
all right.
I mean, you like more than I do, I think.
I mean,
So,
that's
I guess we'll
pretty
move
much
to the next
it
one.
in that movie. Like it's
Yeah.
awful. Okay. Which
So
one next?
We'll move to the next one, and I'll go first on this one. Let's do Friday the 13th.
Okay.
And I think the worst one in the franchise, in my opinion, for Friday the 13th is Friday the 13th Part 8, Jason Takes Manhattan.
And that would be the one on the boat.
Yes.
Yeah, that's pretty bad.
Yeah, I love that the film is called Jason Takes Manhattan, but he's only actually in New York for the third act, and it's only a second because it's not actually New York. I believe it's Vancouver where they're actually filming. And the only reason why we know it's New York is because they filmed one scene in New York where he's in Times Square. And then you get like toxic waste in the sewers every night at a certain time. And then Jason like reverts back to being a kid somehow. And he's on a boat the whole fucking movie. And he's like slimy and gross the whole film. Like it was just a fucking shit show, man. It was crazy.
Yeah. That one's bad. It's a toss up for me between that one and Jason X, the space, just because why do we need Jason in space? I mean, what the fuck?
Because it was the year 2000.
I will say like his little, cyborg-ish thing is not bad looking. But I mean, realistically, it's like, do we need Michael in space? Do we need Jason in space? I mean, come on now. Can we just be on Camp Crystal Lake? Can we just like keep shit without going too like over the top stupid with it? So yeah, between 8 and 10 for me is a toss up.
It's definitely 8 for me because 10 is bad. Like it's really bad. It's filmed and shot. It looks like a really bad sci-fi channel movie.
Yes.
And I'm not gonna lie, I do like the look of Uber Jason, which we only get.
So is
for
that
like
what gives you
5
the
minutes.
edge?
That honestly, yeah. Because like the thing is, Kane Hodder is a great Jason to me, and he's
Agree.
Jason in both of the films I mentioned. But I knew exactly what I was getting into when you start Jason X. You know exactly what you're getting. But then when you start Friday the 13th Part 8, it's different. Like you don't know what you're getting. They tell you that you're going to Manhattan, so you're like, oh shit, we're gonna go to a different part of the world. It's gonna be completely different. Seeing Jason doing this thing here, but you're really on a boat for like a third of the movie, and I just don't like it. It's just stupid. It's stupid.
All right. Next will be Nightmare.
Yeah.
All right, Nightmare on Elm Street. I don't know. I really like 1 and 3. 2 is okay. Which one? 4? 4? 5. 4 or 5.
4 is Dream Masters. 5 is Freddy's Dead. That's my least favorite. 5 is my least favorite. The remake is also really fucking
Okay.
bad.
I'm tripping. Remake. Okay. I'm over here thinking also
I'd rather
remake by
watch
far.
the remake though.
Remake's
I'd rather
boo-boo
watch
shoes.
the remake any day than watch 5. That's just my opinion.
Remake. Boo Boo Shoes. Sorry, I can't think of the dude's name. I like him as an actor. I hated that movie. I hated what they did to Freddy.
Really?
So that movie takes on, what's next? What we got?
I'll play.
Child's Play. I'm gonna be honest, I'm not huge into Child's Play, so if I have to pick, it's probably
Think about it. Which one do you think is the worst one for you?
I mean, they're all kind of fuzzy for me because I don't get into them, so I don't watch them a lot. I've seen them, but like, it may be one of the newer ones. So I don't know. Cult is the newest movie, right?
Uh-huh.
Well, I mean, there's a remake. No, I'm not saying Cult, but I'm trying to think. Cult, and then is it Seed going like backwards, or am I wrong?
Yeah, so you got 1, 2, 3.
Right.
Then you got Bride. Then you got Seed. And then after Seed, it is, what is it? Cult isn't next. It's something else before Cult. Curse.
Which one do you
Curse of
introduce?
Chucky, then Cult.
Glenn.
That's Seed.
It might be Seed. I don't know.
So quick answer for me is Seed. It's not really a good movie. Like I really like the queer awareness in that film. I thought that was awesome, but the movie itself is pretty fucking bad.
I mean, to be fair though, I think if you do Seed and Cult and all that, like they're starting to get kind of But
Yeah,
I'm
you got
not a huge
Seed
fan
first,
of it, so
then
that's
Cult.
not really fair, I guess. I mean, I do appreciate the original and like those, but meh.
Mhm.
I'm not a big Chucky fan.
And then on the last one, we have Scream. And I'm just going to go ahead and say right now, I really like all of the Scream films that we've gotten so far. We're up to 5 right now. But if I had to choose a least favorite, I would say 3. And that's mainly because I didn't like Ghostface on that one. I didn't like him having a voice changer that could just mimic anybody's voice without reason, without abandon. That was dumb. I hated that.
I'm gonna say Stab 8. People probably are like, what the hell, Stab? Stab is the movie that's in Scream that is mimicking the murders of Woodsfield Slasher. What the hell's he called? Woodsboro. Damn, I was close. I knew it was Wood something. I'm gonna say 3 is the one that's Hollywood, right? Where they're making the movie.
That's correct.
I think I'm gonna go with the next one, which I think is 4. Because the most recent one would be 5, I believe. And I actually like 5. 5 is pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm going to go 4, I think.
All right.
Notice none of them are like the originals. You can't really knock an original if it starts a franchise. Like, they have to be pretty decent. Or the
That's
best.
fair.
Ooh, we could always do the
right,
reverse
well,
next week and tell you what our favorite is, which that's not going to be hard because if you do Halloween, it's the original.
Absolutely. 100%.
All right. Well, that is it. Thank you for an awesome question. Do really appreciate it. On the inside, we appreciate you. If you'd like your question to be featured on Last Call, hit us up on social media, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok at Sippin With Sin, SIPPIN with Sin. Or you can join the Gilded server, gilded.gg/Sinister Pack. It's my personal server. We have a whole section dedicated to Sippin With Sin. You can do episode chat, topic suggestions. You can show us what you're drinking. You can submit your last call question to have it featured on an episode of the podcast. Or you can submit a sinister tale, whether it be a personal horror story or a scary story and things that go bump in the night you found on the internet. Join. If it asks for an application, just put from the podcast and you'll get accepted. And then come hang out with us. Talk to us. It's a great way to communicate with us and ask questions or, talk about the podcast or whatever. You can follow me on my personal social medias at IamSinister TV on Twitter and Instagram. And then I stream on Twitch, twitch.tv/IamSinister TV, and Facebook, fb.gg/IamSinister TV, as well as TikTok at IamSinister TV. We stream over there as well. You can listen to new episodes of the podcast every Wednesday, 8 a.m. Central Time. That's right, 8 a.m. Central Time. Every Wednesday, you get a new episode on Spotify, Apple, Google, Overcast, Anchor.fm, and more. Go subscribe, rate it 5 stars, share it with friends, follow it, do whatever. Keep spreading the love. Keep getting the audience bigger and bigger and growing this community. We appreciate it. Or you can watch the video version on my personal YouTube, youtube.com/IamSinister. Every Wednesday, 8 a.m. Central Time, the new episode drops, the video version. Come see our pretty faces whilst we talk about the things. And don't forget to hit that subscribe button over there. And spread some word, comment, talk about stuff in the comment section as well. Christian, where can the lovely folks find you?
You guys can find me everywhere on all social medias at Horrorverse Pod, all one word.
That's right. Go sub to that as well. New episodes every Tuesday. And then Wednesday over here. So you get Tuesday and Wednesday. We cover up the middle of your week. Go sub and listen to the episodes. But that's going to be it. I'm out of beverage. You don't have to go home, but you got to get the hell out of here. Thank you for listening to yet another episode. Next week, it'll be more fun. Until then, take care, and Christian's going to shut the door and lock it behind him because it's time to go.
Thank you all for tuning in to yet another episode of Sipping With Sin. Be sure to leave a 5-star review, smash that like button, and leave your comments in the recommendation section below. But most importantly, guys, don't get gutted.
That's right. See you guys next week.